What size steel beam would I need to support 45 span between columns to support a retail wood-framed panelized roof with 4 each 1,200 pounds HVAC units directly over the beam? This beam is being installed under the existing hinged 3/1/8 x 24 inches GLB to widen the column layout.
I can help. Let me read your question a bit closer. Do you have any plans you could share with me?
Yes, in PDF.
You can attach them to the chat window with the paperclip in the toolbar.
Hold on, I need to pull them off a website.
Okay.
Attachment 2014-0112_164040_S2.1_struck_building B_plan_13 to 2013.pdf full-size image. Attachment 2014-0112_S2.1B_struck_framing_plan_shops_B_13 to 0911.pdf full-size image. These are the existing structural plans. We are demising the space, so one of the spaces will be 45 foot wide and the last space will be 15 foot wide. The new tenant with a 45 wide space will occupy between grids A and basically center between B and C.
Let me open these and take a look at them.
Thank you.
Can I ask why you are not getting with a registered design professional that has stamped the drawings and issued revisions as late as December 3, 2013?
We have finished the building. The engineer of record was horrible to work with. We asked him for this preliminary information so we could prepare a budget to allow us to prepare a lease. It would take him 3 months to get it back to us and hundreds of emails just to get him to respond.
There are 2 files attached, they both look the same. Did you by chance attach it twice?
Yes.
Before we get started, I'd like to point out that a professional engineer's standard of care typically includes a site visit to assess field conditions and get an overall understanding of the structure. This can obviously not be accomplished through the internet. The information provided here is meant for planning purposes only, general sizing and budgeting, and is based on the information provided by you. All loading cases considered are for vertical loads only, no lateral analysis has been completed. The information should be verified by a professional engineer who can visit the site to ensure that potentially important information has not been overlooked or omitted.
Do you need more info? Details, sections. That is correct. We are preparing preliminary budgeting only, and oversizing would be appropriate. We just want to make sure we do not shortchange the budget.
So you want shift the column at the intersection of line B and line 2 over 15 along line 2?
We are hoping that the column and footing adjacent to grid A will be able to be reused and modified in the field. Whereas we would install a new footing and like column at the 45 line and remove the column at the 30 line. We are hoping to do all this work under the existing roof deck.
What are the span distances between line 1 and line 2 and line 2 and line 3?
Shore up the existing roof structure. Modify the existing column at grid A. Remove the old column. Lift the new beam in place. Set the new foundation and column and pour the foundation monolithic around the hanging column/base plate/anchor bolts. The span distances between line 1 and 2 is 22. The span between line 2 and 3 is 26 to 9¾ of an inch.
What type of roof system do you have?
2 by 6 at 24 inches ock panelized roof system W/half an inch 5 ply struck 1 plywood covered by 1/4 of an inch protection board and single ply roofing.
Do you have a beam depth limit?
I only have 16 inches max beam height to work with. The way the engineer laid out the HVAC units, I might have to modify the plenums or even shift over the HVAC unit to allow plenums to pass through depending on the width of the beam.
With a 16 inches depth limit, this will be a heavy beam.
16 inches will allow 16 inches distance from the bottom of the beam to the top of the storefront elevation. Ideally, what would you recommend?
A W16 by 100 steel beam has too much deflection. That is the largest 16 inches section.
I guess we could remove the existing GLB. That would require removing the HVAC units, peeling back the roof, and reconnecting the purlins to a new member.
You can go with a 21 inches deep member.
Then we would have 3/4 to work with. The existing GLB is 24 inches tall. I could budget in a 21 member.
I would remove the existing GLB and replace it with a 24 inches deep steel beam. The GLB will just be dead weight.
That would give me roughly 11 inches clear to work with above the storefront. I would need to budget both ways then.
You can use a W24 by 94, 50 KSI, steel beam. The beam is 9.125 wide and 24.25 deep. It weighs 94 pounds per foot of beam length. You will need to provide solid mechanical connections of each of the roof trusses to the top of the steel beam. This will provide the needed lateral bracing of the compression flange of the steel beam. You will need to have a local engineer size your column supports, connections and foundations. You can also use a W21 by 101, 50 KSI, steel beam. The beam is 10.25 wide and 21.375 deep. It weighs 101 pounds per foot of beam length. You will need to provide solid mechanical connections of each of the roof trusses to the top of the steel beam. This will provide the needed lateral bracing of the compression flange of the steel beam.
That will work for me. Or should we use a new 5? Or should we replace the GLB with a new thicker, deeper GLB?
Your post got cut off.
Yes, so I retyped it.
For the 45 span?
Yes.
Or the 15 span? You can remove the 45 GLB and replace it with the new 45 steel beam.
15 span, we can just cut back the existing GLB to allow the new and land it on the new column with a 45 beam.
That is correct. On the 15 span there is most likely a joint in the GLB over the existing post at 30, though the beam is not effective for the 45 span.
What I was asking is, would the 45 span be too great for a new wood GLB?
Yes.
That is what I was thinking.
You will need a new foundation under your new post.
Your aid is greatly appreciated. What do I owe you? Will we be able to reuse the footing and post at grid A? Or should I plan on replacing as well?
I would plan on replacing it since the reactions at the support points of the new 45 span will be larger.
Perfect. Thank you again.
Good luck with your project. Experts are credited for each adequately rated answer they provide. If you have additional questions, please let me know. Thanks.
If you have a home improvement or appliance question and want to chat with an expert now, visit justanswer.com/YTHI.